One day, Ilara was everywhere. Her face on every screen, her name trending, her presence woven into the daily lives of thousands. She seemed to exist in every corner of the internet, a familiar face in a sea of digital noise. Her posts were full of light and happy words, each update a burst of positivity that brightened the feeds of her followers. She shared her dreams and victories with thousands online, her digital world bright and energetic. Every achievement, no matter how small, was celebrated with her audience, creating a sense of connection and community. People saw her as a success, always smiling, always encouraging. She became a source of inspiration, a beacon of hope for those who followed her journey. She was a small star in the vast internet sky, her light constant and warm, a gentle presence that many came to rely on for comfort and motivation. Then one Monday, she vanished. Without warning, her digital world went dark. It wasn't a slow fade, it was a sudden stop. Her profile pictures disappeared, her posts deleted, her presence erased. It was as if she had never existed online at all. No goodbye, no explanation, just silence. The digital world she once filled was now empty, echoing with her absence. Her followers were left with questions and a blank page, wondering what happened. The sudden void left many unsettled, searching for answers that never came. In a world of constant updates, her absence felt strange and unsettling. People talked, speculated, and shared their theories, but no one truly knew the reason behind her disappearance. They sent messages that went unanswered, each one a small hope for a reply that never came. They left comments asking where she went, their concern growing with each passing day of silence. Her digital footprint was gone, as if washed away by the tide, leaving only memories and unanswered questions behind. This was not an accident, it was a choice. Ilara had decided to step away, to reclaim her life from the endless scroll. Ilara unplugged her digital life to find the person she truly wanted to be, seeking meaning beyond the screen and rediscovering herself in the quiet moments offline. Her disappearance wasn't an end, it was a turning point, a new chapter waiting to be written. It was the beginning of a quiet journey back to herself, a journey of self-discovery, peace, and hope for something more real than likes and follows. Before the silence, there was a storm, one no one saw on her smiling feed. Ilara's life looked perfect online, but behind the screen, it was falling apart. Someone she loved betrayed her, shattering her sense of safety. Her business failed, leaving her with debt and self-doubt. Every morning brought fear and anxiety. Spiritually, she felt lost, her prayers hollow, her beliefs empty. She walked in a fog, disconnected from herself and the world. She pretended for her followers, posting happy photos and inspiring captions. But every post was a performance, every smile a mask. She lived two lives, the perfect one online, the broken one in reality. The gap between them grew until she couldn't hold them together. The storm was too strong. She knew she was about to break. The only way to survive was to let it all go. So, she did. She chose silence. The online world, once supportive, turned against her as her business failed. Cheers became criticism. Strangers called her a failure. Every hateful comment felt like a stone. Her private pain became public spectacle. Rumors, gossip, friends disappearing. She learned online popularity isn't real friendship. The crowd that celebrated her success became a mob in her failure. Shame crept in, telling her she was the problem. She kept smiling, pretending, while the weight pushed her down. Notifications became constant reminders of judgment. The voices of critics drowned out her own. She no longer knew what she wanted or believed. To heal, she needed to escape the noise. She needed to hear her own voice again. So, she stepped away. Ilara made a radical decision. 12 months of total disconnection. She wanted to see what life would feel like without the constant hum of notifications, the endless scroll, and the pressure to always be available. No social media, no emails, no online news. She deleted every app that tethered her to the digital world, determined to break free from the cycle of distraction. She changed her number, giving it only to family. Only those closest to her would know how to reach her, creating a protective bubble around her life. She built a wall between herself and the digital world. It was a conscious act, a way to reclaim her time and her mind from the constant noise. The first weeks were hard. Her hands reached for apps that weren't there. Muscle memory and old habits tugged at her, making her restless and uneasy. The habit of seeking validation was hard to break. She found herself missing the quick dopamine hits, The likes, the comments, the sense of being seen. She felt anxious and isolated, tempted to log back in. The silence was loud and loneliness crept in during quiet evenings, but she resisted, knowing her healing depended on this quiet. Each day she reminded herself that discomfort was part of the process. Slowly, anxiety faded, replaced by calm. She began to notice the gentle rhythms of her own life, the small joys she'd overlooked. Without outside noise, her own thoughts surfaced, messy, painful, but real. She journaled, letting her feelings spill onto the page, unfiltered and honest. She had to sit with her feelings, face the storm inside. There were days when the weight of her emotions felt almost too much to bear. The silence became a space to process and heal. In the quiet, she found clarity, and slowly she began to trust herself again. This year was a promise to herself, to stop performing, to start living. She vowed to honor her own needs, to listen to her heart's quiet voice. No updates, no signals. Her only focus was the journey inward. She learned to be present, to savor moments without sharing them. It was not about anyone else. It was for her. For the first time in years, she felt truly seen by herself. A sacred time for healing and rediscovery. She explored new hobbies, reconnected with old passions, and let herself simply be. Away from the world's eyes, she began to rebuild. In the quiet, she found the strength to start anew. With the world shut out, Alara began rebuilding from the inside out. She started with a pen and notebook, writing every morning. Her journal became her safe space, helping her untangle her thoughts. She read books for wisdom, not escape. Stories of resilience, philosophy, poetry. The words of others reminded her she wasn't alone. Self-care became her daily practice. Simple acts like walking in nature, cooking healthy meals, getting enough sleep. These small acts were bricks for a new foundation, built on self-love. Without an audience, she discovered her true self. She found strength in surviving failure, wisdom in learning, peace in self-acceptance. She was not the same person who disappeared a year ago. She was stronger, calmer, more authentic. She was whole again. The transformation was real. She was ready for what came next. After a year of silence, Alara returned, suddenly, just as she had left. The world she stepped back into was both familiar and changed, as if time had quietly rearranged the pieces of her life in her absence. A single post appeared, an image of her journal, pages open and honest, inviting the world to witness her journey. It was a quiet announcement, but it spoke volumes. The caption revealed her disappearance as a necessary retreat, a step back to find herself again. She wrote of the weight she carried and the relief of finally setting it down. She explained she needed quiet to heal and hear her own voice, away from the constant noise. Her message resonated deeply, echoing in the hearts of those who had ever felt lost. She didn't return to show off a perfect life, but to share her scars, proof of battles fought and survived. Her honesty was a gentle invitation for others to do the same. She spoke about disconnecting to reconnect, about how her breakdown had quietly led to a breakthrough. In solitude, she found clarity and a new sense of self. Her vulnerability was her new strength, a foundation she built with patience and courage. She was raw, honest, real, unafraid to show the world her true self, flaws and all. The response was overwhelming. Messages of gratitude, understanding, and shared struggle poured in. People saw themselves in her story and found comfort in her words. Alara gave others permission to be imperfect, to embrace their own journeys without shame or fear. Her story built a new community, one rooted in authenticity, support, and the courage to be seen. She became a guide for those lost in the noise, a beacon for anyone searching for hope or a fresh start. Her comeback wasn't about reclaiming her old life, but about stepping bravely into a new one, full of possibility. She used her platform to talk openly about mental health, self-care, and the courage it takes to begin again, inspiring others to do the same. Her absence gave her purpose. Now, she was unstoppable, ready to face whatever came next with hope and strength. Alara's story reminds us that hitting rock bottom isn't the end, it's a new beginning. When the noise is too loud, you can choose silence. Give yourself permission to step back, disconnect, and create a quiet space. True strength is found in self-reflection, not in others' validation. Your healing doesn't need an audience. The most important transformations happen in private. If you're feeling broken, know you're not alone. It's okay to not be okay. What defines you is the courage to face your struggle. Consider what a period of quiet could do for you, even an hour a day. Find your own version of silence. Use that time to write, read, walk, or just be. In the quiet, we heal and rediscover who we are. Your comeback starts with a quiet promise to yourself, in the silence.